All right, guys, today we are checking out 2024 Detroit, the 2024 Detroit Supercross. This track, as you can see, is pretty basic. It is a football stadium, an indoor football stadium, Ford Field, and the design is pretty simple. It's kind of a old school, classic Supercross track. I did see a post kind of poking fun at the track, saying it's a glorified arena cross track with 2 extra rhythm lanes, and yeah, it kind of is, but supposedly the riders like the long rhythm lanes, and while these aren't really long rhythm lanes, it definitely has that. A bunch of 180s, it should be a bunch of passing, and I really feel like it could be a track that has good racing on it. I was running like 55s in the game, so probably even shorter, but yeah, I really feel like it will be a track for good racing, but let's jump into it and check out 2024 Detroit. Alright, so first off, we are going to check out the track. We got some first person here. It looks freaking awesome. Yes, it is replay, but I'm not very good in first person, so it looks good. This first rhythm lane, I'm going to come back to it, that step on, step off, but I feel like that is something they could do. Here we go, triple, double. I feel like that's probably what they might do as well. Maybe they step on, maybe they quad, but that's what I made. The whoops, it's a pretty long section of whoops for this track, and what I did was I spaced them out a bit more. I feel like that works better in the game. Then we have the finish line, a double. I made that double a bit bigger than it appears to be. Then we have a triple on, step off, quad. I really feel like they could do that. I mean, these tracks have had tons of quads on them for the last, the year before and this year. And then we have the Supercross triple, and then we connect back to the start straight. So really simple. Simple in the way of these pro riders. It feels like one of those tracks that everybody will basically be doing the same thing. We don't know, how it's going to run up and whatnot and what they might change, because they've done pretty significant changes to the track from the map. The race before, A2, two of the sections ran the opposite direction, but then they decided to take out the bridge for whatever reason and change it. So the tracks have had a decent amount of change. This one could as well, but overall, really short track. Probably, like I said, I was running 55s in the game, so real life, maybe they run 50, sub 50 second lap times. The main could be like 25 plus laps, so interesting. Now, I did hear, and I do want to mention this, that the 450s will race first, I believe, over the 250s, and it is an early race, like 2 p.m. Central. And this race is going to have the Triumph 250 TF250X have its first race. I said that really weird, but this will be the first race with the Triumph 250s. Who would it be? Evan Ferry and Jalik Swoll. Joey Savacci is also on the team, but I guess he can't race the 250s indoors, so he has to wait till outdoors. So yeah, we've got Evan Ferry here. We've shown this mod in the game, but it's actually going to be a thing at this race. So a bunch of storylines going into this race. We've got Haiden Deegan. I guess I heard that maybe he got a bit injured, but it sounds like he should be lining up for the race this weekend. I'm not 100% sure, but hopefully he's good to go. And then, like I said, we've got the 2 Triumph bikes and probably some other stuff. But yeah, so again, the 450s, I want to elaborate on that. The 450s will be racing before the 250s, which is really odd. I'm not really sure what the reasoning is behind that, but race day live should be on at 8:30 in the morning, I think, Central Time, and then 2 p.m. Central Time for the main event. So yeah, this, I don't know. I'm really hoping that this track races good. We've seen a layout similar to this one for Arlington a few years ago, or a couple years ago, or just last year. I'm not really sure. It ran the opposite direction, but it was pretty similar. So we've kind of seen it before, but I really think there could be good racing. And then here we've got Cooper Webb. So I want to talk about the race a bit, show some different riders. We got the gear by Pay 2021. I forgot to mention that the throwback gear and setups were also from pay 2021 from the week before, but yeah, this is a sweet mod. So we've got Cooper Webb. He ended up winning the Triple Crown without ever winning. Really weird, but that's the way the Triple Crown is. It just kind of can be really weird and rewards consistency. So Coop went 2-5 something, I'm not sure, but the crazy thing about it is he won this race, and I was watching, I was thinking, this is weird. You know, Webb has looked really, really good, really, really fast for the beginning part of this year, and while he looked pretty good, he just didn't seem like he had the speed he had at the beginning rounds, you know, before this. But I guess we come to find out he was kind of sick. During the post-race interviews, like, not on the podium, but the post-race interviews, he was coughing. He was coughing a bunch and did seem as if he was pretty sick. So, Webb being able to win feeling under the weather is very, very scary, because I forget who it was. I was listening to something, and they said, and I agreed with them, Webb is a kind of rider where once he gets going, it's really hard to stop the Webb train. He can just, like, will himself to beat you. So, pretty crazy. Webb looked really good and ended up winning without, like I said, ever really winning. And then we're going to be switching over to Tomac here. Tomac had an okay night. He ended up getting second place. He had the first two motos weren't the best for him. He said he couldn't get a start. Then he did get a start in the third main and ended up winning. Jet Lawrence actually got into second place, and we were going to see if he could kind of catch him. But as far as I know, more stuff happened to Jet. We'll get to him a bit later. But as far as I know, he didn't really catch him. Tomac was just kind of out front doing the old Tomac things where he just kind of pulls away, runs away with the race. So, yeah, in the final main event, he looked freaking awesome and won pretty easily. He finally got that start, and it just kind of makes you wonder, you know, we've had a bunch of racing's been really weird this year, but first dry race minus a 1, it just makes you wonder, is he back? It feels like he could be back, but you know, we'll have to get some more races in to know for sure. So here we're going to switch over to Jason Anderson. So ever since the drama with Jet Lawrence, that was just, you know, not that long ago, a week ago or whatever, it feels like that kind of lit a fire under him. He looked awesome. If I had to say who looked the fastest and the best on the track overall, I would say it was Jason Anderson. I mean, he was one main away from winning the Triple Crown. He went, I forget what he went. He won the second one, I believe, and then he got third, because Sexton won the first main, Webb got second, and then he got third or fourth. I'm not sure if Roxon beat him. I don't remember, but Anderson looked freaking good and was hitting the lines and just had the flow, but he had a tip over in the third main event, and then that kind of ruined it for him, and he got penalized. He was on the podium, but that penalty put him into fourth place and moved Plessinger up to third, and then so Plessinger keeps the red plate and has the points lead going into Detroit. So if you remember, I believe it was Detroit last year that Plessinger threw the race away, so could be interesting. This season is actually shaping up to be really, really crazy. And here we have Jet Lawrence. I want to talk about him a bit. So he had an okay night, but a rough night at the same time. I guess the fans were booing him at some point. I don't know when. I didn't really notice it on the broadcast, but I guess he was getting booed. And then when he went down in the final main, which kind of ruined his finishing position. I guess the fans were kind of cheering, and I know he's kind of the villain at the moment. People seem to be siding mostly with Jason Anderson, but to cheer somebody going down, I mean, that feels a bit much, right? I mean, that feels a bit much. I mean, he could have got hurt. There's no reason, whether you like a rider or not, to cheer for them to get hurt. I mean, even Vince Freezy, I wouldn't want him to get hurt. I don't think he should be doing the stuff he does, but to cheer someone going down feels a bit extreme. I mean, let me know in the comments what you guys think, but in my opinion, that was taking it a bit far. If that was the case, I mean, you can know the difference between going ooh or ah and cheering for somebody going down. So Yeah, really interesting race, and Detroit is shaping up to be freaking awesome. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who do you think's gonna win? What do you think about the Jet Lawrence cheering going down, and how will the Triumph bikes do, and all that stuff. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.